Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go ahead and jump into an install for a digital controller thermostat, control board, control box, whatever you want to call this, on a Pit Boss Pro Series cabinet smoker. This will work for I think the 3, 4, and 5 Pit Boss Pro Series, if I'm not mistaken. So without further ado, let's get into this install.
I'm just going to slowly go through this so the video will have a copy of the directions. Never know, you might lose these. With the door taken off and the hopper siding taken off, now it's a lot lighter. Of course, all the racks, stacked them up over there on top of the mower. So it's pretty light. It was easy to go ahead and just slide it off. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bottom tray. Now, there's a fan here, and I think that's the only one. With this being a PS1, a Pro Series 1 and not the PS2, this I think was their basic model. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my little wire cutters and snip these zip ties that are holding the wiring harness into the frame. Of course, we are also going to be replacing our module here, so I already kind of popped it out. I just need to free up the connections and basically pull the unit out from the front. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those now and start snipping. Just loosened up these two. We got two more on the back side. I'll play it safe. Grab these 4 screws. Looks like one of them was not original. Someone's messed with this before. Maybe. Ooh, yay. Better pull that out. I went ahead and pulled out one more screw. That was right here. And I'm going to take out this other one. There's one more you can see hiding right there. Alright, we got our screws loosened up. This one's still enclosed. This one comes off. And right there's our ground, and it looks like the wiring might have had water come up to it at one point. Maybe not. Maybe just dirt splashing up on it from that knucklehead that first owned it. I'll be extra careful to make sure I don't cut any wire. This one seems pretty self-explanatory. So that one, very simple. You just push on the rear of the clip and it lifts right up. Going over to these. We got 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 blacks that turn into whites. So make a good note of which ones are going in where. All right. So I went ahead and took off the 4 screws that were holding this little panel in there, exposing this wire. And that way all we have to do is plug and play. It looks like the new wiring harness is very much going to match up with the other. You know, we got 2 whites, 1 red. We got 2 whites, 1 red. And then, you know, we go over to the other side. This one, 1 yellow, 2 whites. 1 yellow, 2 whites. So, yeah, and of course, the purple or the blue looks purplish. Purple and blue, purple and blue. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly set this camera off to the side and switch these out.
Yes, Ian. Keep it right there, bud. Alright, the first one. Yes, Ian. Hold on, Ian. Alright, there's one. There we go. There's one connection. I'll take the other. Hold on, I'm almost done. Yellow with yellow. And last one is purple and white. Alright. Think so. There she goes.
All right, so the old unit is out, off to the side, and our new unit is just ready to go in. All right. We'll just slide it in. It doesn't seem to lock in much, but I kind of bent it up a little bit here when I was yanking on the old unit, so maybe that did something. These are gonna go up inside this little heat shield. There's the probe. So pretty sure this is the temperature probe wire that is inside the unit. The little metal probe is sticking up in the rear of the cabinet towards the back over here, just above the auger. As you guys saw, we were able to switch over all the original wiring, and it matched up thankfully to the wiring harness that we got. Only issue with the wiring harness, of course, is this little broken spot. So it seemed to connect just fine, and it's holding up just fine. Doesn't seem to be loose, so I'm gonna ride with it and hope for the best. Also, can't forget, we gotta hook up our negative. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, got it tightened down. I tried to push it. You don't want your negative connection pointing out upwards or off, because this little cover, gotta remember this little cover is gonna go over that. So we don't want to put that wire in a kink. I think it'll be okay right there. Now, before I get carried away going in the reverse process of putting all that back on, I'm going to secure my parts. Put these 4 up on my workbench. Hope the kids don't get up there. Put this same direction. And we all remember how this one went. Okay, panel is installed. We have our power cable all wired up. And let's unplug our vacuum and go ahead and power this up. Okay, so it said to hold down the FC button up on the top left here. I held down the FC button and then reached over, and I held it down for maybe a good 4 seconds and then pushed the power button and then held that there and let go. And sure enough, it popped up and it said P5. And then I just came over here to the dial and I adjusted. You can see it's giving me the option for the 3 series, 4 series, or the 5 series. I'm gonna go, because this is a 4 series PS1, it's a V4 PS1, so I believe that's what I need. It's Pro Series 4. That's correct. P4, P-4 right there. So this is a Pro Series 4, P4, that's what we need right there. Pretty sure I'm gonna press FC again. But after selecting the right version of your pellet smoker, press FC button and the corresponding will be displayed, indicating that the setting is done. So this is indicating the setting is done. Turn off the power supply to exit the program version setting mode. Turn on the external power supply and the post can be used as normal. Okay, so this supposedly this will program. Turning it off, and apparently that's all we have to do. So now we're getting something different. I just plugged it back in. It's saying SPL 4P1. This is a 4 series PS1 Pro Series 1, so okay, there we go. All right, so it looks like our auger is turning, which is good. Slowly but surely. That's good. It's showing that we're at a cook. We're set for so this here is our Pro right there, that little stick sticking out. It's pretty dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some white vinegar and clean that up. But I'm glad to see the auger is turning. And we actually have a read. So 150 is as low as it'll go, and it'll go up to 400 plus. Well, I'm not sure which brand this is, but I'm fairly confident you guys can look at this video and probably see which one it is that you're looking at when you're comparing them. As far as if you need to buy one of these to replace your old one, but it seems to be operating as needed for now. I'll do a thorough in-depth video on how this thing does with heating up some meat, but I can see down in there that igniter, that little pot stick, that little igniter right there is glowing red, so I know that it's working. Let's take a look at the back and see if the fan's spinning on that auger. Yeah, there's the fan spinning, sure enough. So we have the idea that everything is working fine in regards to the pellet smoker. Auger seems to be maintaining consistency. The igniter is operating. The burn pot or the ash pot or the fire pot, whatever you want to refer to it as, inside the unit is a little rusted and corroded. We'll take a look at it a little bit further, but now that I've seen that everything's operating as it should, I'm gonna go ahead and put the wiring covers back on. So that's what I'm gonna go do right now. So let's go ahead and flip it over on its side and we'll get after that. Okay, so now that we have the unit down on its side, we'll go ahead and grab our coverings and just go backwards and follow the process. So okay, so the auger cover is back over, and I went ahead and, once I had put the screws and little screws back in place, I went ahead and pulled back on it, just because keeping in mind that there is an operating fan on the back side of the auger motor. So I just stretched it out, made sure I gave it that extra bit of clearance, and then I went ahead and took a couple small zip ties and I bundled up our wiring harness. That way it's gonna fit inside of our rail covers. So let me grab these now. Starting with this piece, this is gonna be going towards the front. So it's gonna cover your wires there. Come in just like so. And we're just gonna do the reverse steps on what we did in our other portion of the video. Now I'm gonna grab some zip ties and I'm gonna secure this wiring harness to the back side inside that plate there. So now we have our wiring harness. Wiring harness is now secured inside of the cover. But wait, we can't forget, we have to put this guy back in. So we popped in two of those screws. Now we need to put the other two in. We'll just twist it around. I'm gonna watch the saber-toothed tiger. They want to watch this getting put back together. So I didn't tighten the zip ties. I did not tighten the zip ties all the way, just to keep this frame a little loose so I could slide it forward or backward. I'm pretty sure it's in the right position. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down, and I think we're in line.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
All right, so now we have all 4 screws back into the rail cover, the frame cover. All of our wires are tucked in nicely to this little indentation portion, and we got a clean flush look. So I'm gonna just tighten up the, just ever so slightly, I'm gonna go ahead and gently tighten it up just a little bit on the wiring harness. Now it's time to get this piece put back on. Let's go ahead and snip our zip ties. All right, so we have our 2 screws back in place, and it seems to be nice and tucked. We don't have any wires that are exposed that got nipped. Everything seems to be just inside the frame. So looks good. Looks nice. And just to wipe it all down, Went ahead and sprayed a little bit of WD-40 on and around all the electrical stuff. Okay, so now I think it looks pretty clean. We wiped it down all underneath for the most part, and looks close back to factory. Now let's go ahead and get this thing lifted back upright. All right, so we have some oak pellets in there. As you guys can see, there's not that many. And go ahead and open it. And it is still a little dirty, but I went ahead and scraped away and vacuumed a lot of stuff. We have our fire pot or ash pot with the auger and operating form. This is our little hot box shield. We have our water pan tray that's a little bit about halfway full. Got one of our probes hooked up there. Oh, and we got our glass cleaned, and Aiden is demonstrating how you can actually see through it now. Before, you couldn't see anything. It was all black.
Yeah, but my dad cleaned it up, guys.
That I did. So, we have our unit plugged in, and we've already programmed it. So it's the 4 Series PS1, the Pro Series 1. And we already downloaded the software. I'm gonna go for 250 and just hit power. You can hear our fan kicking in. And our auger, as you guys can see, is spinning. It's gonna push out those pellets little by little. And it'll warm everything up. All right, first thing we're gonna try on the grill is gonna be some chicken breast. New controller seems to be operating within 10 degrees of the set temperatures, so sticking pretty close to 250. We have one of our probes in. It's registering a temp of 188, just a foot above where the firebox is. And then of course that probe is near the back, so it's registering temperature from the lower back side of the cabinet. But I think that's awesome. It's maintaining temp. Go ahead and season these a little bit, sprinkle a little bit more seasoning on them. Toss a little bit of basic Morton seasonal. Well, this chicken breast looks like it's going to turn out pretty decent. Before I call it quits on this video, I'm going to wrap the chicken up and toss a little bit of barbecue sauce in there and let it go for a little bit longer. Jumping back onto the controller board here, I mean, I can't really say anything bad right now. As far as I can tell, it's allowing the system and the setup to work, properly. I've got adjustments on my temperature, jumps every 25 degrees, so there's plenty of options. You can get lots of smoke, I think, in the 200 and below range. And then when you crank it up to high, it turns into more of an oven with a little bit of that wood fire feature. But I'm going to continue to work on this guy. I think next is going to be just a little bit more cleaning and then some paint. We're going to go ahead and leave the copper series finish on the outside, but as far as the legs and the main box unit, we're going to go ahead and do a little painting video on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that this video has given some insight and helped others that are debating on whether or not they want to buy one of these controller boards. It does come with 2 different probes. I've only been using one of them so far, and it seems to work fairly decent. I mean, as far as I can tell, the temperature's not jumping drastically. It seems to be fairly consistent, And I've opened and closed the door on the wire a bunch, and it seems to be holding up pretty well. So I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Thanks for watching the video.
Oh,
Feel free to, oh, hi.
guys. And popcorn. You want some?
I would like some, sure. Well, are you gonna tell everybody goodbye?